Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Friday. Thank God I've had a day. I've had a long day, everybody, and I hope the weekend brings some respite because it's been a long freaking day. Hope you're all doing well. Apologies for the late start today. Like I said, had a lot going on, but ready to talk with Packers fans worldwide. It'll probably be a bit of a truncated episode today, um, just because. But I did want to talk about Pat O'Donnell because it does feel like, they brought a new punter in and everybody just kind of forgot about it and or just takes him for granted. Took him for granted a little bit. And I don't think, look, I think he had a solid season. I don't think anybody would look at the year he put together and say, oh, well, that's a clear upgrade over everything they had. But he was competent and trustworthy and did everything he was asked and was a good holder and part of the operation and all of that. And he did something that I think people probably forget. He won a Special Teams Player of the Week award. I mean, we all remember Keyshawn Nixon winning awards at the end of the year, but I think people forget that he was a big component in the victory down in Tampa Bay. Everyone remembers, the touchdowns, and then they talk about the fumble by Aaron Jones going into the end zone, and then the kind of futility on offense for the rest of the day. But a big part of the reason that the Packers defense was able to keep Tom Brady and company under wraps was because of the field position that they were handed by an amazing day from Pat O'Donnell. They have him under contract for one more year. Hopefully we continue to see improvement on his end. It's funny because he doesn't get as many attempts as most of his counterparts around the league. I was looking it up today, and I guess I knew this because I know the Packers and Matt LaFleur, they go for it a lot on fourth down, so obviously they're not punting. But, he is tied for 27th in the league in 2022 with only 52 punt attempts. 27 out of 32. They're just not punting a whole lot. So the one area you think you'd probably like to see a little bit more of an improvement is pinning teams inside the 20. He was tied for 18th in that regard. And when he does get called on to punt, you'd like to be having those opponents pinned inside the 20 a few more times. But overall, really solid season from O'Donnell. And I just wanted to give him a shout out because punters are people too. And we never talk about him. And he had a really good year for where the Packers were coming from and looking for stability at the position. They certainly got that. Hello, everybody in the comment section. Good to see everybody. What else we got here, folks? A few super chats. Don't want to miss them. Was that the first one? Is Dave the first one? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Dave, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. I've got this thing, and it's fucking golden, and I'm just not giving it up for fucking nothing. I'm not going to do it. Rob Blagojevich. Is Goody Blagojevich in this scenario? Is that the line you're drawing there? I like it. Ryan, thanks for the super chat. I've heard that the Jets could call off a trade and tank next season. Do you think the Jets would do that? Could they? Yes. Will they? No. How's that? Man, it's just that time where everybody's picked all the meat off the bone when it comes to the Rodgers trade. So now fantasy land is setting in, and it's like, well, aliens could invade and steal Woody Johnson's soul, and then he would never greenlight the trade, and the Packers would be in trouble. That's the next step. So, yeah. Could that happen? Yes. You can't say no, it's impossible. But no, it's not going to happen. What else we got? Spiked Mako, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. I was reading an NFC Championship game retrospection on Rodgers. Do you think he played well enough in those games, or was mediocre play overshadowed by catastrophes? Ooh, that's a subject. It's tough. There's context here, given, what he was dealing with in all those games, both with the defense and with his own offense, the offensive lines, and who was lining up where. I think more often than not, he played above and beyond well enough to win. I do think there are certainly games, where you can probably cast aspersions or say he could have played better. You certainly expect one of the all-time greats to raise the level of his play in those biggest moments. But I will say the one that always kind of bugs me is, and I know McGinn has gone in on this and a couple other people on the Seattle playoff game, the 2014 NFC Championship game. And I'm like, this man couldn't even move. I mean, he legit was playing with a bum calf that caused them to junk their offense and turn everything into the pistol. And you helped drag that team to an NFC Championship game. You know, defense is playing well. You're doing, like, I understand Seattle's a tough out. That was a really tough defense. And Rodgers is there with one calf, and people are like, oh, well, he didn't play very well. Man, it's like what he was doing was insanely impressive. And to dismiss it and say, oh, he didn't play, well, do you have any idea of what he was dealing with? That's the one that kind of bugs me. The rest of it, I don't, yeah, you can make a case that you probably could have played better in some situations, but I'll tell you this, the overarching reason they didn't get to Super Bowls wasn't because of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I think that's pretty simple, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that. What else we got, folks? What up, Nags? What up, John? How are you? Oh, my glasses be broken. Do you think keeping Hollins was a good move? Yes, Sly, I do. I think I think Hollins is a really good depth signing. I do not doubt for a moment that we'll see more of him, especially early in the season. But clearly it's just that. It's depth and a rotational guy. No one's expecting him to come in and put up major numbers, but he did put some really nice tape out there coming from the Rams when they picked him up off waivers. So, yeah, I like it a lot. I like that signing. Ugh, let me get the glasses fixed. Carlos, thanks for the super chat. If a quarterback drops, do we draft one with our first pick? I doubt it with the first pick, but I do think they draft one this year. Sir Alex, thanks for the super chat. Not sure how much of an adult beverage costs where you are, but here's hoping this will cover one. TGIF. Go Pack Go. Yeah, Sir Alex, $10, that'll do it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Does Bakhtiari re-gift the golf cart to J Love to troll 12? I've gotten lots of questions about the golf cart. I should ask Dave. I'm going to go direct to the source because I don't know. I guess we'll see, right? It'll be fun. Maximilian, thanks for the super chat. Another good thing about Pat is that he didn't stink in the cold unlike his immediate predecessors. I think that is a big, big component. And one of the major reasons they wanted to make that move because he had kicked well in the cold in Chicago, right? And it had been the last two guys who just stunk out loud once it turned cold. So, yeah, I think that was a definite help boon, if you will. No doubt about it. I agree the NFC championships aren't all on 12, but it is pretty glaring his memorable plays during those games and lack of normal 12 play. Yeah, I mean, you want the best to be their best when they're going up against the best, and Rodgers sometimes wasn't. I'll give you that. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think anybody would confuse, what he was doing out there with, like, he was some bum, Like, people want to act like he was just terrible or whatever. Sorry, guys. Like, he was just like, I don't know, like Baker Mayfield out there or something. Like, he certainly wasn't that. Callum, any vet wide receiver help coming? I think eventually. I think it'll be a bit. It'll be a bargain bin. That's what it'll be. I believe Green Bay Packers fans need to calm down a bit with the instant success for J Love. The NFL isn't easy. Not every QB is a Hall of Famer. Sideline report, I agree. Although, hey, let them go wild. It's March. Who do they play on Sunday? Be happy, man. It's all good. But I get it. You're right. He is, and I keep saying it on these chats. There's gonna be tough moments. He's gonna make mistakes, and he's gonna have to learn from those. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the fan base getting excited about the new guy. I like it. Brandy, tell me about it. I literally had these on my counter in my kitchen. I took them off to I had an itchy eye and I went like that and I just moved my hand and the glasses fell off the counter and broke. It's just been a day. John, thanks for the super chat. Favorite Packers punter of all time is? Ooh. Oh, man. I don't know. Probably Bajorquez just because I loved his name. Allison, thanks for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. What else we got? Hope we sign that ginormous tight end from Georgia. Dave, you talking about the draft pick? Yeah, I mean, they'll have to spend a first round pick to get him. And I can't imagine this is a team that has not really utilized premium picks at that position, but you never know. I like it. Keep the tape on the glasses, Nags. Way better than elbow patches. Yeah, for all the good it's doing. Does Corey think punters are people too? No. No, he does not. Johnny Rivers says Hendrick. Yeah, Hendrick is the obvious one, and he's the one that Ron Wolf mentioned. You know, when his biggest regrets, he always kind of. I don't know now if he would still lead with it, but back in the day, he would always lead with letting Craig Hendrick walk in free agency, and that was over letting Desmond Howard go. He always kind of was kicking himself for letting Hendrick go, who at the time went and got bank. He had the highest paid contract for a punter in the league at the time he signed it. I think it was with Tennessee, if I remember right. But yeah, Hendrick was great. I mean, he was a great punter, no question about it. Jack, thanks for the super chat. Make it 2 drinks, Snags. TGIF. Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate it. Having a favorite punter seems wrong somehow. They're people too, Overshadow. Be nice, man. Oh, Allison, I wish it were that easy. Unfortunately, it is not. There are contracts involved. As much as it would be nice to do what you're suggesting there, it's not possible. Nicholas, thank you for the super chat. Could you see DeGuara taking on more of a traditional tight end role? Maybe, though I doubt it. I think that's the work that Tyler Davis does, and he is coming back. So I think you'll see him in line a little bit more just because of the numbers, but I still see him mostly as a move guy. They're going to play him out of the backfield, put him in motion a little bit, play him in the slot a little bit. And yeah, he'll play in line some, probably more than he has in the past, but I don't see him becoming a traditional tight end, like just because they've let some guys go. I think they'll augment their roster at the position and continue to utilize him much as he has throughout his first part of his career. Uncultured here, what's up, man? Nolan Smith or Kincaid at 15? 15 feels rich for Kincaid, but I love the player. I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd be surprised, but I'd love it. I love him as a player. I'm a simple man, right? And the idea that you can throw the ball anywhere in his zip code and he's going to catch it, you turn the page to a young quarterback who needs a security blanket with those kind of hands, yes, please, sign me up. I'm down with it. I love Jets fans that want to sign Rodgers so he can work out with the wide receivers. Did they see what happened last offseason? I keep saying, like, man, good luck on the hand signals. That's all I keep coming back to. I don't know. Jay BSAF. It's funny to me how many Packers media/blog people sound like they'll be happy with pretty reasonable compensation, e.g., not necessarily requiring a first-round pick. Well, I think, you're looking at the landscape of the league and you understand where the Packers are and the Jets are and where Rodgers is in his career. The man literally said that he was 90% towards retirement. I mean, we've been talking to him about retirement for 3 years now, probably longer. He's not a spring chicken. So, the 13th overall pick, that's a 5 years worth of control on a young, promising player that you're just going to give away for a year, maybe 2 of Aaron Rodgers. It's understandable. I get why the Jets are doing what they're doing, but I also understand the Packers saying, well, we want 13 and more because he's Aaron fucking Rodgers, and you guys haven't been to the playoffs since, like, we were landing guys on the moon. So let's go, chip chop, give us 13. I understand both sides, Nags, do you believe the New York Jets could call off the Aaron Rodgers trade? I talked about that at the start of the stream. Could they? Yes. Will they? No. I think 12 could get to the Super Bowl with the Jets, but I think we will see great growth from J-Lo. Yeah, Michael, I think that's entirely possible. Look, people remember Brett, that first year in Minnesota, he was amazing. It was his best statistical year as a quarterback in his entire NFL career. I think Aaron Rodgers can still play. He's going to have weapons in New York. He's going to have a defense. Yeah, they're going to be contenders. No question in my mind. It's always going to come down to the playoffs. What happens there, as we've been talking about here. But yeah, I think he'll probably play well in New York, and they'll do well. And in the meantime, we will watch Jordan Love get to grow. And what is nice is that we won't have the media circus of Jordan Love versus Aaron Rodgers like we did with Rodgers and Favre. Those 4 games they played. Thankfully, the Jets played in Lambeau last year, not slated to play them again for a while now, and doubt they're meeting in the Super Bowl, though you never know. How insane would that be? Packers draft Love a first-round wide receiver after never getting Rodgers a first-round wide receiver. How ironic would that be? Haha. It would be. Lots of people have been talking about it, but don't ever forget, Brian tried last year. He literally talked to the Vikings about trading back into the first round at number 32 to get Christian Watson, which obviously he ended up getting a few picks later the next day. But he tried, and Minnesota didn't want to give the Packers a fifth-year option on Watson. So it's not for lack of trying, is all I'm saying. They're right there at the end, which is kind of funny. Whoa, Tony. Why am I seeing Jake Paul and Rodgers in the same conversation? Ooh, baby, I don't know, but I missed it. Thank God. With Love at QB, why would the Packers bring back Crosby? He's expensive, and it's time to find the kicker of the future. The kicker of the future. Well, I was just asked on the radio about a rumor that the Packers are looking at, and someone suggested this on the chat yesterday, that the Packers would look at Robbie Gould. Apparently, he said this in a conversation somewhere that he was talking to the Packers, although I can't find any record of it. But we all know the people love to throw the fact that they're, quote, talking to the Packers into combos because it drives up their price, right? But that would be wild, right? Especially since, Robbie Gould is really fucking good, and his numbers are actually better than Mason's. So that'd be wild. But to your point, yeah, I can't. I know we had heard what Brian said at the Combine, all of that, but sure feels like it will be a contract negotiation / talk of, look, we love you, we love everything you've done, but we have to, as you say, get younger and cheaper here. And look, I don't think it has much to do with Rodgers being gone, right? I just think, yes, the Packers probably recognizing that it's time. But we'll see. We shall see. Ryan, thanks, man. Worst QB, Campbell or Whitehurst? I say Campbell. I agree with Campbell. And I don't even particularly think that's too close. Whitehurst had some stretches. Campbell, not so much. Overshadow Sean, thanks for the super chat. I'm sorry, if the Saints get more for a coach than Green Bay gets for, quote, arguably the greatest Packer ever, it will be a fail. I understand that viewpoint. But a coach you would hope, if you're the Broncos, going to be there for a while. Could be there for a long time. Rodgers is going to be in New York a year, maybe 2. Maybe 3 if things get nuts. But, so I feel you. All right, buddy. I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out and putting up with my lateness and all my surliness today. Really appreciate you guys tuning in every day. Allison's here with a super chat right at the last second. Couldn't the Jets buy Aaron Rodgers' contract? Yeah, well, they'll be taking it on. There's no doubt about it. And one of the holdups, I have zero doubt, is them working through the contract with Aaron. Aaron has said a couple of times that he will work with whatever team, well, now we know that's the Jets, with the contract and trying to make it easier for them to absorb, to take on, what have you. Doesn't help the Packers, really. They still got to deal with the cap hit. But, yeah, the Jets will work with Aaron on the contract. There's no doubt. All right, everybody. I got to get going. Can't thank you enough. Hanging out, talking Packers each and every day. I really, really do appreciate you guys. You're here every day. It's amazing. I can't believe what a great little community you guys have built. I'm just sitting here blabbering, but I love the interaction I see on the comments, and you guys are really good to each other, and I really, really enjoy it. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, wherever you're going to be. Be safe, and I will talk to you on Monday, barring any Aaron Rodgers news over the weekend. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great weekend. Go Pack Go.